reigning national champions today try to take one major step back toward Omaha. Tony Vitello's team faces 2-seed Wake Forest, who today already got a heroic performance from a former Vol for a second elimination game win to this point. 16 regionals around the country. Yesterday, we cut the field to 48 here in Knoxville. If Tennessee wins this game, it advances to a super regional. If Wake wins tonight, we come back tomorrow for a winner-take-all Game 7. With that, we say hello. Thanks for joining us another time here in Knoxville. Kyle Peterson, Mike Monaco with you. And on day 3, we finally get the top 2 seeds meeting one another. And you look at the last 4 years, these teams have had powerhouse programs just dripping with talent. Now they meet.
And a couple very historic teams. And we saw Wake make a run through Omaha. Obviously, Tennessee wins the whole thing last year. This will be interesting because Tennessee has scored runs in this tournament so far, but they've only hit 2 home runs. Both are solo shots. Wake has hit 12 in 3 games, obviously against different arms, but it's 2 teams that like to utilize the long ball. We'll see how it goes today.
Yeah, Tennessee's offense came into the weekend 3rd in the country in home runs. You said just the 2, but you know the power they got.
No, it's there. It's definitely there, and the power is always there when they're playing at this ballpark. So, I mean, it's one thing that you circle on this Tennessee team as a reason why they're 3rd in the country in home runs and can really do it top to bottom. 7 of the 9 in this Vols lineup come in with double-digit home runs. But Andrew Fischer has been about as good offensively as anybody else in the nation. Led the SEC in home runs and on-base percentage, 7th in the country with those 22 home runs. You just feel like he's going to run into one in what could potentially be his last game here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
Meantime, Wake Forest already played earlier today, like we said. An elimination game against Cincinnati, and the Vols transfer Matt Dallas had the best outing of his career.
We talk about this Wake offense, and rightfully so, but ultimately they needed an arm to give them length. Matthew Dallas did that earlier today. Pitched into the 8th inning. As good an outing as he has had since he's been in college baseball. Power kept coming. 3 more home runs for Wake, and that one Merrick Houston hit one of them. He's been their leader, but there's plenty up and down this lineup that can do damage. 2 freshmen combined for 5 home runs in their first 3 games.
All kinds of draft prospects in this one as well, like we've seen all weekend here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Sunday night hits on this regionals weekend. We start punching tickets to supers. When we come back, first pitch in Knoxville, Tennessee. Regional final again for Tony Vitello, hosting a 4th regional the last 5 years. 14 straight regional wins, 14-0 in home regional games under Tony V in Knoxville.
They don't want to let the fans come back on Monday. They just end it on Sunday every other time that they've been doing this. It's interesting because they weren't great at home this year, particularly within the SEC, whereas last year they were 40-4 at home. This year it's been a little bit different, but more of what we saw last year through this run in this region.
Talked about the offense, and there's Gavin Keelan, who's been awesome at the top. Louisville transfer 6 for 10 with a triple for an offense that was 3rd in the SEC in runs per game.
They're lethal, man. From the left side, from the right side. Talked about it off the open. I mean, the offense has been very good the first 2 days, but it hasn't been the home run. They've hit 2 home runs, both of them solo home runs. His offense relies a lot on it. This is going to be interesting because Logan Lunsford has had some dandies this year. He's also had some that haven't been very good. It is the 2nd highest swing and miss rate in the country this year. Look at the strikeouts, 85 strikeouts in 55 innings. But the fastball control has been an issue, especially towards the end of the season. If he can find that, the changeup is an absolute difference maker.
Here we go with the first pitch out of the zone from Lunsford, and we're off in this regional final. We've had carnage around the country already today. Just in the last hour and a half, Georgia and Vandy eliminated. What a day in college baseball. Gavin Keelan and the Vols trying to get through to a super. Fouled away, 2-1 from Lunsford. So Lunsford's a junior from Oklahoma, Missouri transfer in his first year with Wake, and you said it. This guy was downright special his first 5 starts of the season. And he also pitched yesterday in relief. Came on to get the final 2 outs you saw in his bio on 8 pitches against 3 batters to finish off Miami, Ohio. Pulled foul. This guy was so good to begin the season, about as good as anyone in the ACC and maybe the country.
And it's almost 18 strikeouts per 9 in that run right there.
Strikes can be a problem at times. Split change, splitter from Lunsford. In the air, center field. Javar Williams on the move, and at the wall, it's Luke Costello on the track for a loud out number 1. Well, Tom Walter said about Logan Lunsford last week at the ACC tournament, we're going to need to get a better start from Logan Lunsford if we're going to advance. And they were keeping him for this game if it got this far.
Didn't want to use him last night, but you got to make sure that you get to today. Then they got a heroic performance from Matthew Dallas earlier to get them to this point. They're going to need another one from Lunsford if they want to play again tomorrow.
Andrew Fischer bats in the 2 spot. Showed you the numbers for Fischer, who's just been awesome in his 1 year with the Vols. First team All-SEC, team leader in OPS. Skied to center at Javar Williams. And a couple of fly ball outs for Logan Lunsford. And Matt Dallas was so good today at just emptying the tank. 115 pitches. He had 7 shutout to start, and they just needed as much length as possible, so came back out for the 8th inning.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more than you could have asked out of Matthew Dallas. We talked before the game, said if he gives us 7, it'll be amazing. Ultimately gave him more than that. Got within and out of getting through the 8th.
Hunter Ensley now. 5th-year senior in-state kid who's meant so much to this program. Ball and a strike on Hunter Ensley. Yeah, Tom Walter was talking about Matt Dallas and now Logan Lunsford. He said what Dallas did for us today was as good a pitching performance when it mattered for a team in an elimination game. About as good as they've had through the years. Right up there with the likes of Brett Lauder in Omaha against LSU. Good fastball up with a ton of life to it, and 1-2 on Ensley. Logan Lunsford's 1-2. No chase. Interesting look inside the glove of Logan Lunsford. Bouncing ball up the middle at Austin Hawk. 3 up, 3 down for Logan Lunsford. Wake serving as the home team in this regional final. The Deaks bat for the first time against Dylan Loy next. Wake Forest lost to Cincinnati on Friday, beat Miami, Ohio yesterday, and beat Cincinnati earlier today. And you talked about it. Walks and errors have been the problem.
But then it wasn't, and that's why Wake looked like the team that you know they can look like earlier today. They walked 2, they didn't make any errors. It was as clean a game as you're going to see them play. But that just has not been the story. I mean, look where they ranked with it. There were 64 teams in the tournament, folks. They were dead last in walks allowed. They were almost dead last in errors. But yet they're still playing. And if they can avoid that today and potentially tomorrow, Wake has a real chance to get through this thing.
They have hit nearly a mile's worth of home runs, a dozen of them as we showed you with this lineup that led the ACC in home runs coming here.
Dalton White's one of those 2 freshmen that's gone deep. He's done it 3 times. Luke Costello's done it twice. A little different look here for the Vols. Dylan Loy. If you're thinking, hold on, Dylan Loy's not a starter, you're right. This is his 30th appearance of the year, and it is his first start. Now, we'll see how far he goes. I would think of it more as an opener situation for Tennessee, just to see how long he can get him. I'd be surprised if he gets all the way through the order.
6th career start. Sophomore from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, about 50 minutes southeast of here. He's a strike thrower, and he begins the Princeton transfer. Matt Scannell, the right fielder, with strike 1. Scannell's had some big moments. A huge home run earlier today that went out at 417 feet. Clubs one down the line foul. Had an outfield assist in this regional as well. Atop a Wake lineup and a team that is talented as the 2 seed here. They were 16 and 14 in the ACC. That's 8th best. At at-large bid, ranked as high as 11th in the country earlier this season. Preseason number 14. Dylan Loy's 0-2. We flashed the note, 128 average allowed against left-handed hitters. You got 3 lefties in the lineup and a switch hitter in Dalton Wentz. Fouled away, and we've got equipment flying at home plate. Might be part of the calculus. Dylan Loy getting the start. So good against lefties this year. We mentioned the average. The OPS is very similar. He's only allowed 6 hits against left-handed bats this year, and he's punched out 17 of them. Strike 3 calls. 1 away.
That is on the outside black, and probably move it away from Scannell a little bit too. Went with, looked like a fastball right there. The velocity when Loy is right will be 87, 88. That last pitch in the mid-70s, or excuse me, in the mid-80s. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup is the combination for Loy.
Starts out with a breaking ball to Merrick Houston. Junior shortstop from Florida, 13 All-ACC, projected as a top 15 pick by our draft expert, Kylie McDaniel. Line drive right field. Reese Chapman looks up, and that ball is gone! Oppo taking a bullet for Merrick Houston. Second of his day, and the Deacs strike first.
No silent treatment on that one. Merrick Houston is putting on a show. Will be a first rounder this year. Got a fastball at 89 out of way, sent it out at 102 to right center. That's where the ball really travels here. Hit it to right field. It's got a chance to go.
Now Cade Lewis lifts one to left that sends Dalton Bargo back toward the fence, on the track into the corner to run it down for out number 2.
But that approach for Houston we've seen so far in this tournament, to where it has been essentially everything in the middle of the field. Left center to right center, and everything on the barrel. He continued it right there. Uh-oh, we're getting close. We're getting close to a mile. That's 13 of them, and we're within shouting distance of a mile's worth of home runs for Wake.
We get back to our hotel, and then we come back to the ballpark.
Like we did in between games.
Exactly.
Worked out perfect.
And we're back. 13 of them for Wake Forest. Now Jack Winney. Yeah, back to Houston for a moment. It's exactly what Tom Walters said when he met with the media between games. What you just said, when he's on the backside of the field, that's when he's great. Middle of the field and right center.
Because there is plenty of juice. He can hit it out anywhere in the ballpark.
He homered Friday as well against Cincinnati, and then earlier today against the Bearcats, and now here in the first inning against Dylan Loy in Tennessee. And a hole for Tony Vitello and the Vols in the first. Jack Winney's the cleanup man, junior first baseman. Takes a breaking ball in for a strike. Pride in Newton, Massachusetts. Arrived here in Knoxville, leading the team with 14 home runs, 59 driven in, and he's added to those totals. Cut and a miss, 2-2. First start of the season for Dylan Loy. The lefties 2-2. Winney chases and strikes out. Nasty breaking ball. But Merrick Houston puts Wake on top first.
Well, the future first rounder and big leaguer gets things started. How about 102 off the bat to right center and off the scoreboard. Deacs strike first on a solo home run from Merrick Houston.
Tennessee this season 13-9 when they allow the first run. Vols have, though, just won 2 of their last 9 when they go down first, and they trail for the first time this weekend. 4, 5, and 6 begins with Dalton Bargo, cleanup man and left fielder, an Omaha native, against Logan Lunsford. 13 pitches in a 1-2-3 first, despite 0 first pitch strikes. We've got eyes on his changeup. We showed you into his glove right at the end of that top of the first. Mentioned a 4-pitch mix for Lunsford. On a line to right, but right at Matt Scannell at 105 off the bat for out number 1 in the second.
Yeah, it's kind of a Vulcan look. So your typical changeup, a lot of guys will throw it as a circle change, get over the top, or else they'll throw more of a split change. This is a split change, but it's with different fingers. It's a middle finger and his ring finger. Kind of splits it with 2 fingers on each side, takes all the velocity off, and has really good sink. The swing and miss against righties and lefties against that pitch is above 50%. That is a big-time number.
First pitch to Dean Curley, drops low with a curveball. Part of this arsenal, the changeup is the secondary that Logan Lunsford turns to the most. I mentioned the whiff rates on it. Knee-high fastball. So this is what Lunsford's working with.
From a pure swing and miss standpoint, the changeup is the best pitch, and he'll throw it to righties and lefties. That was it.
Dropped in at 80 miles an hour.
I mean, so far it's a 14-mile-an-hour difference, but from an arm speed standpoint, it looks the exact same. You can see it coming out of his glove, and then the hand just finishes right over the top.
Yep. Fastball freezes Dean Curley. 5 up, 5 down for Logan Lunsford.
So this is what happens and what it looks like when guys are guessing. And you can tell at that point Curley is guessing something off speed, because 94 just locked him up, and Dean Curley can hit a fastball. Just wasn't looking for it. You can see the 2 fingers on it right there. Gripping the fastball, leaves it right in the inner half of the plate. 2 quick outs here in the second for Lunsford.
And now Reese Chapman, the right fielder. He's got 1 of Tennessee's 2 home runs this weekend. Parker, Colorado native, went deep Friday against Miami, Ohio. 3rd year Vol, biggest role of his career. Tennessee won Friday 9-2, and then yesterday 10-6. Friday was Liam Doyle, 6 2/3, 11 strikeouts. Yesterday was Marcus Phillips, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, and a control of the Bearcats offense. 1-2.
That was the curveball. We'll take a little bit more off it. Has more top to bottom in the mid to upper 70s. So far we've seen 4 pitches, and all 4 of them, when right, look very good.
Again, you said this off the top. The whiff rate for Logan Lunsford is the 2nd best in the country.
It's better than Liam Doyle, who's 3rd. But it just shows you that when it is right, he has a chance to really roll through a lineup.
Fractionally better than Liam Doyle.
It is, but still, I mean, we're all into math here, and even though it's not much, it's a bit more.
Get your gravel at McNeese, and then Lunsford and Doyle. Swing and a miss. Vulcan changeup Logan Lunsford. He's fan 2, and it's 6 up, 6 down, as this arm was left until Sunday night for the Deaks. Huge news across college baseball just within the last hour. Wright State, the 4 seed in the Nashville Regional, has knocked out #1 national seed Vandy.
Vandy had 3 hits in the first game against Wright State. They just all happened to be home runs and beat them. Today it had 3 hits total. Got beat 5-4. Yeah, pretty crazy. For the first time ever, a #1 national seed doesn't play in the finals of regions.
Wright State has been knocking on the door. This Tennessee fan base knows that. They've seen what Wright State is capable of, and boy, the Raiders were close on Friday, but they get it done today and face Louisville.
Now they get Louisville, got to beat them twice. Louisville wins 1. They now potentially have a chance to host a Super.
Wouldn't that be something? That lines up with the Hattiesburg Regional, where Southern Miss facing elimination. Bottom 2, Dylan Loy still out there, and Dalton Wetz lines one at Reese Chapman. One away. So it's 5 batters faced, Two lefties, a switch hitter that you want to face from the right side in Wentz for Dylan Loy, and we wonder how long we're going to see him in this one. We weren't getting a lot of words out of Tony Vitello, who was locked in pregame in the dugout. Short answers.
Short and direct answers, yes.
Appreciated nonetheless, however. This is Luke Costello.
Not rude by any stretch, just he was locked in and ready to go.
Well, he did say the first three letters of Brandon Arvidson's last name, Arv, you might expect after. Who, like Logan Lunsford, had to come on yesterday to finish off a ball game for Tennessee against Cincinnati. And Brandon Arvidson, who looked great in Hoover in the SEC tournament sub. Just up 2-1 to Costello, true freshman from Erie, Pennsylvania, popped a couple of home runs yesterday. For the fans out of the SEC, Vols fans in particular, that haven't seen this Wake program, it's been known as Rake Forest through the years. And they got a ballpark somewhat similar dimensions-wise to here in Knoxville.
Well, that's what it's looked like so far this weekend, too. 13 home runs, already a solo shot tonight, and Costello, the freshman's on there with a one-out walk.
Now batting for second baseman, number 9, Austin Hawk.
This guy, Austin Hawk's been right in the midst of this home run tear. Just in the last month. Junior second baseman, in-state kid, began his career a Tar Heel. We asked Tom Walter what's been different about Austin Hawk. He said Hawk's been getting his foot down a little sooner. Also sitting on some pitches, whereas early in the year Austin Hawk was kind of trying to cover everything, and now he's going up there with a defined plan.
There it is.
1-1 from Dylan Loy.
Did you hear Runes when he was talking about Boston Smith today?
No.
It was absolutely beautiful. I'm going to let Loy go because I want to get this in.
I might have actually heard what you're referring to.
So I think the number was Boston Smith. This is the kid from Wright State that now has 26 home runs. He's tied for the national lead. I think he has 16 since May 1st.
I heard this.
And he hit another one today, and Rune said, I think they told him it was May 32nd, just so he thought he was still in May.
Which is incredible. 17 home runs since the start of May.
32 days. Yeah.
Look, for Runes and the Squeeze Play gang running on fumes, your months can be any amount of time.
Yeah, no, I mean, they get infinity free passes at this point for what they've been doing the last 3 days. I did not see the tie and sock combo today for Michael Patrick.
I'll send him a text right now. Berkey made the point. 17 home runs. How many conferences would that be the season lead in for Boston Smith of Wright State and the Raider gang, as they're known?
Insider information, Berkey apparently was dipping a dinner roll in ranch today because he said it was a little dry. That you'll see that move very often.
No.
Just a straight bread to the ranch move.
To each his or her own.
Yes, that would qualify.
Tony Vitello out for a visit. Mid-AB against Austin Hawk.
Generally, when Tony goes out, he makes a move, and I think he already has. They'll go to Arvidson right here, even though it's a 1-2 count.
Interesting. Brandon Arvidson comes on with Austin Hawk in the box. Wake Forest on top on this Sunday night in Knoxville. Tennessee in the regional final, got to win this and they move on. Wake Forest would have to beat the Vols twice. And mid-count, Tony Vitello to the bullpen. Dylan Loy out. Brandon Arvidson in. Richard, sophomore from Dripping Springs, Texas. 3.66 ERA. Came on to get the final out with a strikeout against Cincinnati. And it's pinch hitter on just 5 pitches last night.
This was a plan, we just didn't know when. Arvidson is the guy that I would say trust factor is as high with him as anybody that comes out of the Tennessee bullpen. Now the question is, how far can he go? And I think if you're Tennessee, the thought is he goes in right here, we're going to take him as far as we can. He's not going to pitch tomorrow. the hope and the plan for Tennessee is length out of Arvidson today.
A 1-2 is spoiled by Austin Hawk against 94 there. Yeah, we asked Tony Vitello coming into this weekend, how would you use Arvidson after the 5 1/3 against Texas and Hoover? And he said, we're abandoning the situational stuff. Last night, obviously an outlier, but they're looking for length out of him, clearly. A strikeout of Hawk starts Arvidson's night, and there's 2 down.
Goes with the breaking ball here. And Arvidson has, we'll see more of a starter combination of stuff. I mean, it's fastball, slider, changeup. He'll throw some curveballs. See what he did against Texas, where he was at his best as far as length and I think outcome too.
Tony Vitello called it an epic effort in that one. Arvidson said afterward the big key for him in that one was just getting ahead. He said he's been focused on it all year, and when he hasn't been doing that, getting ahead of guys, that's why he struggled. He's ahead of Jimmy Keenan, who's back into the starting lineup for Wake. Started the opener on Friday, and then it was Matt Conti, the freshman, the last 2 days, including earlier today. Game 2 in a twin bill, and Jimmy Keenan's back there. Also a different type of offense. Cincinnati likes to run, they like to bunt. Keenan back behind the plate against Tennessee. 0-2. Arvidson with a couple of strikeouts. Brandon Arvidson has entered the chat, and off we go to the 3rd. 3rd inning on the way. Wake Forest leads Tennessee, and Tom Walter, Deacs head coach, joins us now. Walt, when Logan Lunsford looks good like he does these first couple innings, what's he doing?
He's landing his off-speed pitches. You know, he's got his changeup going right now. He's landed a couple curveballs. When it plays his fastball up. When he's a one-pitch only guy, he can be hittable at times. But when he's got 3 or 4 pitches going, he's tough.
Tom, you get a situation like this where you know Loy's not going to be out there very long. You don't necessarily know who's going to come in next. So from a preparation standpoint, how does that change offensively?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, we knew Arvidson would be in this game early. I mean, he's really good. And obviously, I'm sure we're going to see Snead, too, if this thing stays tight.
Tom, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Tom Walter, the head coach of these Demon Deacons.
Program builder.
16 years.
Yep.
Lunsford against Levi Clark, freshman DH in the 7th spot, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Busy few days for Tom Walter and the Deaks. And on the hands, Jack Winney cannot make the play.
The combination of metrics right now for what Lunsford is throwing up there shows you why the whiff rate is among the best in the entire country. That fastball right there, 93 miles an hour, has about as much carry as the best carry in the major leagues right now. You combine that with a changeup that's coming about 15 miles an hour less, and if it stays where it is and the combination is there, it is not a lot of comfortable at bats.
Again, a fastball there with pretty absurd carry to it.
Yeah, the induced vertical break has been as high as nearly 22 inches today. You get up to 18, 19 range, that's really good. You start moving north of 20, you're talking about some of the elite fastballs that live at the top of the zone.
And then landing the off speed. Like that might have been a strike to Levi Clark right there. As we've got rain coming down here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Again, turf surface here, of course. And we've had rain over the course of the weekend. Swing and a miss. There's the heater with a ton of carry to it to fan Levi Clark. And it's 3 straight Ks for Logan Lunsford. And this gets really interesting with the rain now and Lunsford looking this good.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Now, the assumption was it was going to rain at some point. They rolled the dice thinking that the Lightning was going to stay away. But that one again, 93 miles an hour with a ton of carry for Lunsford.
Now Cannon Peebles, switch hitting catchers, had a very good weekend to this point. 4 doubles. 4 for 9 for the second-year Vol, transferred in from NC State. A big ovation here. Tennessee Vols softball just won in Oklahoma City.
That's what they were yelling about. All right.
I was not watching.
Okay.
Blake Ware, our statistician extraordinaire, was.
Okay. Blake, you can hang around for the rest of the game then. You're doing great so far.
Thank you kindly for the chicken tenders. Yeah, sounds like a walk-off from Laura Mueller. How do you do? On the ground right side into Austin Hawks. Deep positioning. 2 down and 8 in a row set down to begin this game for Logan Lunsford. All right, so you knew the rain was probably coming at some point, but still, how do you think this gets managed?
From a pitch standpoint, I mean, I think you're rolling with who you got. Tennessee's already got Arvidson in the game. So you've already kind of shoved in on that. They wouldn't have started this if they thought that the rain was potentially going to stop it. What are we now, 40 minutes into the game? So the thought was, yeah, we might get rain, but we can play through it.
It is a dirt mound here, obviously. Everything else here, turf. Manny Marin is the 9-hole hitter, and he cues one off the end of the bat. Slick track and a bobble for Logan Lunsford.
Well, there's the answer to your question. I mean, it may not affect decisions as to who goes in and who goes out, but it affects that play right there. That happens 10 minutes ago. This inning's over because Lunsford's feet don't start to go out from him. We're going to go through a lot more baseballs than before, but you can see he goes down. That's one also. You got to glove that ball. You got enough time. Glove it when it's still rolling. Make the transfer and potentially is able to complete that. Instead, you give this Tennessee offense new life, which is generally not a very good idea.
Not advisable in most years. They scored an error on Logan Lunsford, who now goes through the lineup for a second time, beginning with Gavin Keelan, and flew out to left his first time. This one popped up foul by Keelan. Tony Vitello said after the game last night about Gavin Keelan, he's this year's Billy Amick. Billy was in such a groove last year, then had appendicitis. Took a few weeks for Billy Amick to get back into rhythm. He said it's been similar with Keelan. Most known because he can hit. Like that. Right center field for Gavin Keelan. Manny Marin's on the move. The outfielders slide, and Manny Marin scores all the way from first, and we're tied.
There's that new life coming back to bite you right there. Marin reaches on the air, and then ultimately Keelan does what he's done, well, pretty much the entire season. Takes 92, smokes it into the right center field gap. And again, this is where the small amount of rain, and it hadn't been a bunch, is affecting a few things. The footing, ultimately, of Lunsford going to make a play, and then right there, the same for Scanlon left. That swing right there ties it up.
And now Andrew Fischer. Line drive into right field, base hit Fischer. The Vols have the lead in the third.
Change up right here. And I think interesting to look at the swings the second time around the order. Just two guys so far. But for Keelan and Fischer, the second time they faced Lunsford, Keelan hit a fastball. Lunsford hit a changeup. This one just stayed up enough. It wasn't bad location, really. I mean, it's bottom part of the zone on the outside black, but Lunsford goes all the way out, gets it, hooks it to right field. Keelan scores easily, and the Vols have their first lead of the night.
This game has completely changed in a span of 6 pitches. Manny Marin dribbles one off the end of the bat. Wet surface, rain falling. Logan Lunsford does not handle it cleanly. And that's it. In a half dozen pitches, it's 2-1 Tennessee.
Yeah. And it all started on a swinging bunt that went about 26 feet.
Corey Mascara, the pitching coach, just paid a visit to Logan Lunsford, you saw. And now Hunter Ensley bats. Three-hitter who rolled to second his first time to end a 1-2-3 first inning. It was 8 up, 8 down on 39 pitches, and now 7 pitches of game-shifting momentum since. This is the 20th pitch of Logan Lunsford's third. Fastball for a strike.
It's also the first time they got him in the stretch. And sometimes that can change stuff a little bit. Maybe the arm action isn't quite what it was out of the windup.
Bouncing ball to short and Merrick Houston, who flips to Austin Hawk, and the inning's over. Gavin Keelan and Andrew Fischer, who else for Tennessee, come up with the big hits to tie it and then take the lead in the third. 60 wins a season ago for the Tony Vitello-led Vols, culminating in the first national championship in school history. Freshman class been really good. The likes of Coons, Clark, and Marin headlining the group. And then the transfers as well. Liam Doyle, Andrew Fischer, Gavin Keelan, and Tanner Franklin. And the Vols find themselves in yet another regional final here in Knoxville. And they've got the lead with the rain still falling down here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, and Brandon Arvidson against 9-1-2 for Wake Forest. Not always an even path for this Vols team this season, but a top 16 seed in the end for a preseason number 4 that spent 3 weeks number 1 midseason.
It's been kind of a confusing path, honestly, when you look at it, because pure talent, I think Tennessee will match up with anybody in the country. But within the Southeastern Conference, they struggled at home. They lost 4 of 5 series, which doesn't happen here. Now, they were better on the road. That's why they end up getting one of the top 16 national seeds. Regardless, you'd still rather play at home if you're Tennessee, but you can see the difference towards the end. Doesn't change the talent base. It's absolutely there. And the 1-2 punch of Doyle and Phillips that we've seen can beat anybody.
4-pitch walk to Javar Williams. Brandon Arvidson dealing with the rain. His cap came off as well. Second walk from Tennessee pitching the first time through. Andrew Fischer said it this week about the Vols. I feel like our team, he said, has been riding a high, then a low, then a high. Just got to be a little more level.
Yeah. Here's the other thing, too. You win a national championship, expectations, particularly of the fan base, change immediately. They just think that you're supposed to win every game moving forward. And when you don't, now they're a little bit louder than they used to be.
Matt Scannell, the batter, takes a strike. Tony Vitello said to us, not lamenting, but just pointing out, said if they won one more game against A&M, one more game against Kentucky, the season feels a whole lot different. Of course, there's a lot of coaches that can say something like that as well. Scannell drags a bunt, and a beauty, and a perfect spot for a bunt single. And then a throw goes into left center. Javar Williams moves up. Scannell does as well, and it was ill-advised and puts 2 in scoring position.
The bunt was perfect. We've talked about this a lot over the course of this weekend. Left-handers naturally going to fall to third base. So the lefties, from a hitting standpoint, are always going to drag. Take it with them because it's tougher for the pitcher to get there. It's just an ill-advised throw right there. There's no reason to make it. Javar Williams a step off of second base. The game just sped up for a minute. The other thing is that ball's rolling around for a minute. The minute you pick it up, it's wet. That's why you're going to see any ball that's put in play. A pitcher's going to ask for a new one probably the rest of the night.
It's an error on Dean Curley. He's had some defensive woes at second base that have been well chronicled this year. He's been super unselfish in moving over to second from short. And now we've seen it once on both sides where a wet surface has some kind of impact in this.
It's affected the game.
Yeah.
It's absolutely affected the game already. Another way it can affect the game, and it's just something to watch moving forward, is on slides. Because on a turf field like this, I mean, it's like going in your backyard and sliding on a slip and slide. You are zipping the minute that you go down.
And now a likely first-round pick in Merrick Houston, who is scalding right now. takes down, and what a great block back there by Cannon Peebles. Might have just saved the run with that. Merrick Houston cracked a fastball over the wall in right field his first time. Up to 15 home runs. And so Pie 2-0 from Brandon Arvidson. These are all elimination games for Merrick Houston. He's been a part of 3 very good Wake Forest teams. Omaha 2 years ago, that epic with LSU when he was a freshman. Last year, Wake Forest spent multiple weeks as #1 in the country with former Vol Chase Burns. 3-1 on Merrick Houston, who's now having the best offensive season by far of his career. Told us he added about 12 pounds, and the power has followed.
More home runs this year than he did his first 2 years combined.
He's got second and third, nobody out, in a 3-1. Houston was looking to tee off and do damage. Bill Salento's getting peppered in the third base coach's box.
Yeah, we had I mean, he's playing hurt right now. He made a play in the first game today, and the old left hand is a little black and blue on the palm. He was not going anywhere close, that one.
Houston strikes out. Massive strikeout for Brandon Arvidson, who's fan 3.
A good slider right there. It had really good down action when it got to home plate. It almost acts as a changeup in this location, but gets over the top. Late down action, 3-1 count. Arvidson fights back and gets a big strikeout of Merrick Houston right there.
All 3 of Arvidson's outs since coming on for Dylan Loy have been strikeouts. Now Cade Lewis fouls that one away. Second team All ACC third baseman. He's had a somewhat quiet weekend here in Knoxville. Had 2 hits yesterday, late in the game against Miami, Ohio. In a game that was 14-13 Wake. Chopper right side is fair. Fischer gloves for out number 2, but Wake ties it. Productive from Cade Lewis, scoring Javar Williams. We're locked at 2. So now Brandon Arvidson's got to deal with a man at third and Matt Scannell, and face Wake Forest cleanup hitter Jack Winney. Struck out on a Dylan Loy breaking ball his first time. Great season last year, very good season again this year for Jack Winney, and another good stop by Cannon Peebles. Boy, there's been a lot of talk about the catcher position for Tennessee and just controlling the run game in general over the last month or 2. And Cannon Peebles has been pretty sturdy defensively.
He's done a very good job, and this is a staff that is loaded with stuff that isn't necessarily easy to catch. We talk about how hard it is to hit. The guy behind home plate has to catch it all and at the same time try to present it well to the home plate umpire.
They've been riding with just Cannon Peebles about the last 4 weeks. 2-1 on Jack Winney. Rain lightning in Knoxville. Arvidson's 2-1. Winney swings through it. Excellent breaking ball to make it 2-2. Wake's tied it with a run. Man at third against Brandon Arvidson. His 2-2. Good take by Jack Winay.
That's similar to the pitch he just swung through right there. He went back-to-back sliders at the bottom of the zone, and it kind of acts like a changeup. It's still moving back into the right-handed hitter, but it has more down than horizontal to it.
3-2. Winay lines it into left center field, a base hit. Scannell scores. Wake has the lead again.
So 3 straight times same pitch. Okay, so slider down and out of the zone. Winay swings over the top. Slider down and out of the zone. Winay takes it. And then slider that catches a piece of the zone, and he puts this swing on it. This was in a spot after he had seen 3 in a row that Winay could do some damage. Smokes it out to left center. Pretty good job by Ensley to get to this ball too, because it is skipping out there like a rockwood on a lake. It's a double, an RBI for Winay, and Wake grabs the lead back.
(3-2) in the third, and now Dalton Wentz again from the right side, and he went around, according to Nicholas Mull. First 2 days, Dalton Wentz 6 for 10, 3 homers here. Today so far, 0 for 4, 3 punch-outs, but a sac fly for the true freshman, highly regarded one-time South Carolina commit. 0-2. Arvidson's 0-2. Wentz pulls it on a line past the jumping Manny Marin. A 2-out double from the freshman Dalton Wentz, and the Wake lead is 2.
Same pitch, same location. It's a slider that when you look at it, it's definitely down in the zone, but what little horizontal there is coming right back into the barrel. And Wentz now from the right side carries that barrel through the zone long enough, 97 miles an hour off the bat, just over the head of Manny Marin. Trades places with Jack Winay and adds 1 more for the Deaks.
Boy, when it looked like Arvidson was a pitch away from getting out of this inning, instead Wake adds on 2 more, 3 in the inning, and the lead's 4-2. Now Luke Costello takes ball 1, and we talked about the decision to go Loy and Arvidson, a couple of lefties. It's only 3 left-hand bats in the lineup, but Wentz too, who's better as a lefty against righties, but he produces there from the right side.
That one's going to work. 2-out double on line to score 1.
Back foot, did it hit Costello? He says yes. Mark Wagers, the home plate umpire, says no. It is something that you can review if Tom Walter wants to use a challenge, and he does.
I got to think if Costello is saying that it clipped him. It may not have got much, but you're not going to ask for a review of that one if you're at home plate, because that's pretty clear as far as feeling as to whether or not it got you on the way by.
Wake Forest is challenging no hit by pitch at the plate. The play is under further review.
It's not chalk, but I saw paint. It's whether or not it got the foot on the way by. Yeah, I think it did. I think it hit paint and just clipped his foot before it came up. It didn't get much. You can see paint fly right here, so it hits the ground first. The only question is whether or not that is definitive. I still don't think he asked for it unless it actually happens. You didn't see a huge change of direction of the ball, which is usually the best indicator as to whether or not it hit him.
This is where human intuition and the actual evidence are 2 very different things, because his reaction is not something that factors into the review process necessarily.
Nor should it.
Right.
Because ultimately, I mean, he could, win an Oscar for it, and it maybe didn't hit him. But I think it hit him. I don't know that there's enough from that to say that it did. And the only reason I say that is the immediate reaction that he had.
I agree with everything you said there. And it's fully possible that the chalk comes up because it just hit the ball onto the chalk without grabbing the foot.
And I think it did. I think it hit the line first, and then if it did hit him, it just skipped off his foot right after that.
Tom Walter, after signaling for the challenge, came out and said something to Lou Costello, and he smiled at his freshman at the end of it. You get 2 of them, you keep them if you're successful. First one for Wake Forest today, and the result is?
After further review, the no hit by pitch stands. 2-0 count.
You need indisputable video evidence.
I don't think it was there.
Worth it?
I mean, in that situation, I think you take the kid's word every time because, again, I think it probably did hit it. But the look didn't show that it was absolute.
Well, now this one comes up and in, and it did not hit Lou Costello. Did they hit the bat? I didn't see an immediate foul call from Mark Wagers.
I didn't either, but it had to have been because he called it dead. Yeah, it hit the knob of the bat first.
Yeah.
Knob of the bat went. But I'm with you. I didn't see the foul call. He also wore it too. So
off the head.
It's understanding to. Uh-oh.
This is crushed. Down the line by Lou Costello to the corner. It is foul.
Well, okay. Now you just burned a challenge. You got one left.
How frisky is Tom Walter feeling?
He's walking over to Billy Salento, his third base coach, and saying, what do you got right here? I don't think they use it here. And one of the reasons is I don't know that there's going to be a look that's definitive enough to overturn that. If you hadn't have just lost the first one, you may do it right now. But I don't know that you want to run the chance of losing both of them here in the third inning.
And now a 2-2. Swing and a miss. A 4-pitch sequence that had a lot going on both sides. In the end, at the end of the third, Wake Forest puts up 3 and leads by 2. Regional final on a Sunday night in Knoxville, Tennessee. And Tony Vitello's nice enough to stop by. Tony, your assessment of Brandon Arvidson so far?
Good. I mean, we got people kind of complaining over here about the weather at the start of the inning, but, I don't think there's issue with the ball or the mound being wet there. We just walk the leadoff guy, and then they execute a really good bunt, and that's kind of what started it all. And in games like this, you get a guy like their shortstop, puts a good swing on one. Of course, Gavin's put 2 good swings on him, but some of those little things are usually a part of the story. So hopefully we can take care of the baseball on defense and start some of that mess on offense.
Tony, we were talking about Lunsford's stuff, and it's interesting because the pure stuff is very good, but yet the outcomes have been all over the place this year. From you guys' standpoint, how do you prepare for this arm?
Well, it was quick because we didn't necessarily know who we were playing or who was pitching. So when we get in there, we kind of looked at the past. He's thrown against us twice. He's obviously at a new school now. Bargo and him played together freshman year.
Yep.
So I think really it's about getting his stuff in the zone because it's moving a lot. It's a lot of up and down kind of elevator style. So getting him kind of in the shorts area or the middle of the zone is the key, but easier said than done because especially off the windup, he's got the up-tempo deal and kind of speeds you up a little bit from the start.
Tony, Dean Curley's coming up here. We feel it's only right to ask if you're superstitious and want to stick around.
No, I mean, I think I got dumb stuff that I do routine-wise, sometimes on acts. Yeah, it's too much on the hands, but we'll take anything.
All right, there you go. You're 2 for 2 in interviews with Dean Curley.
Yeah. He was mad I didn't get as excited yesterday as I did for Cal. But anyone that knows Cal knows you got to get exciting anytime anything happens for that guy.
Tony, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Is that Cal Stark catching a stray right there?
I think that's exactly what it was, yes. Poor guy's not even here to defend himself right now.
Sorry, Cal, that wasn't us.
No,
we didn't see it going that way.
We get blamed for a lot of things tonight, but that one we didn't do. Tony mentioned it right there, and we'll see if it becomes more of the game story, but trying to get Lunsford into the stretch and see if you can get him out of routine and work at the pace that he wants to. because that's when they've put their best swings on him so far today. It was Keelan and Fischer back-to-back.
Vulcan changeup.
That thing is the disappearing ball right now. When it's down and in the right spot, there's not a lot of comfortable swings. The one that Fischer hit was elevated enough that he could get to it.
Chapman struck out on the change his first time, and he pops this one up foul, 1-2. "13 home runs for Chapman and gets a second look at Lunsford. Again, if you're just joining us, Logan Lunsford has pretty great stuff metrically and was so good to start the season. Not as good the last couple of months, but he's been really good so far tonight. Logan came on yesterday to get the last 2 outs on 8 pitches. And he said afterward, I think everyone's expected to throw in a game like that. So just come in, attack. And that was his plan. Said his thought process was as simple as throw as many strikes as I could. Curveball misses. You heard Tony Vitello say Logan Lunsford, former teammates with Dalton Bargo, who lined to second on a check swing to begin this inning. 2 years at Mizzou for Lunsford. Tried another changeup, and the count's full. Wake got 1 in the bottom of the first, and Tennessee got 2 in the top of the third. The Demon Deacons countered with 3 in the bottom of the third. 3-2. In on the hands and popped up. Rain coming down for Merrick Houston. He's got it. 2 down. All right, so it's 4-2. Bottom of the third, Luke Costello did this down the line, and Wake Forest had just used the challenge, so only 1 challenge remaining, and Tom Walter then proceeded to take a stroll toward his third base coach.
Yeah, just a discussion with Bill Salento, who should have had the best look at that to see, and it did not look like he was saying, yes, we should take a look. Again, if they don't lose the previous challenge, I think you probably do it there. But understandable given that you don't. You only get 2 for the game. You keep them if you're right. Well, they were wrong on the first one, so now you got 1 left.
We saw how hard it can be to figure out if a home run's fair or foul. Just across this state with Riley Nelson. Levi Clark skies this one to right center, and Javar Williams is there to put it away. Logan Lunsford throws up a 0 shutdown inning in the top of the 4th. The Deaks have the lead by 2 on the Vols. Cal Peterson, Mike Monaco with you, and our entire crew behind the scenes. It's been great to be here in Knoxville all weekend with these 4 teams in town. Miami, Ohio, and Cincinnati are out, and these are the last 2 standing. Bottom of the 4th inning starts with Brandon Arvidson on the bump. 7, 8, and 9 for Wake Forest begins with Austin Hawk and a fastball for a strike. Hawk was the first man to face Arvidson in the second when Arvidson replaced Dylan Loy. And Hawk struck out looking on a breaking ball. Couple fastballs, nothing in 2. Been really good pitching so far this weekend from Tennessee. Told you about Liam Doyle on Friday. Marcus Phillips was very effective yesterday, and you touched on A.J. Russell's 2 2/3. Fouled off the catcher Cannon Peebles.
Yeah, A.J. Russell looked good. They have. It's interesting, and one of them can make a start at some point as we move into this postseason. But you got a guy like Russell that can give you length out of the bullpen. You got a guy like Arvidson that can give you length out of the bullpen. You just have to figure out how exactly they want to use him moving forward.
Just saw Doyle, Russell, and Phillips.
It's a pretty good stuff combo right there. I throw 98. How hard do you throw? I throw 98 also. Me too. 3 of them right in a row.
Life's good. Swing and a miss. Arvidson's got a nasty slider going, and he's punched down 5 already since he came on in the second.
He's leaning on that one pretty good. I mean, the 2 hits he gave up that were big swings were both on the slider. The key really ends up being location. This one ends up down and out of the zone, not by much, but enough just to get it off Austin Hawk's barrel.
It was the pitch that after the SEC tournament game against Texas, Brandon Arvidson said it was really working and I felt like I could throw it anywhere. He said that paired with good fastball command, that set the stage for his 5 1/3, 9 strikeouts against the Horns.
Well, he could just lean on those too, essentially. I mean, the slider, again, can act more like a changeup to right-handed hitters, and then he can, if he wants to, add some side-to-side action to the lefty and take it more off the barrel.
He's got 8 swings and misses so far since he entered the game, including against Jimmy Keenan, the batter here, who struck out on a fastball from Arvidson back in the 2nd. (3-0) though to Keenan. Again, Arvidson said, when I faced struggles earlier this year, was falling behind guys and just having to claw my way back all the time into counts. When he gets ahead, he's been good. True of most pitchers. 3-1. A&M to junior college to Tennessee. Comes back to a full count against Jimmy Keenan. 2 years at St. John's where he raked. First team Big East last year, most outstanding player at the Big East tournament a season ago. Popped up foul. Tom Walter's team put up 6 runs Friday against Cincinnati, 14 yesterday against Miami, Ohio, and 10 earlier today against the Bearcats. Keenan lays off on a pitch down and works a walk to get aboard with 1 down.
Good take. Slider again that was down, and Keenan had already seen it in this at bat. You just, as a hitter, trying to figure out where it starts if you can identify spin. Forced that slider up in the zone. That time Keenan started the hands held up in time to draw the 1-out walk.
So he gets aboard for the 9-man Javar Williams, sophomore center fielder from Dartmouth, Massachusetts. He walked to lead off the 3rd against Arvidson and scored. There are a lot of fastball misses up from Arvidson against Williams the first time.
There are also, most of the misses have been pretty small misses. He's not missing by much, but first pitch of an at bat, you flip the count from 1-0 to 0-1. What follows after that often is very different.
Williams on a line, right field, and Chapman goes back, and it is gone! A laser beam from Javar Williams, his 2nd of the weekend, and the Deaks lead by 4. Javar Williams buzzes the tower and right.
Michael Monaco, Javar Williams had 2 home runs on the season before he got to Knoxville. He now has 2 in the 3 days that he spent in town. Just enough. And this is the benefit of playing in this ballpark. That porch in right center is pretty short. Didn't get out by much, but got out by just enough. 103 off the bat. 2-run home run makes it a 4-run Wake Forest lead.
$49 games coming in for those first 2, and then 4 here over the weekend on a big old stage for these 2. And we have gone over the mile marker.
We did it.
We hit a mile of Wake Forest.
We didn't do anything.
No, we certainly
did nothing except the math to get us to that point, which is important for that graphic. So we did a little bit.
Again, we're 0.4 miles away from our hotel, and we've driven every time here and back. We haven't even walked it.
Let's focus on the game, Mike. We were worried about rain tonight, or we would have got some steps in.
And in fairness to us, we've had some long games. 3-1 on Matt Scannell, leadoff man for Wake Forest. Had a bunt single last time. Yeah, Vols fans watching, they might not have watched all of 14-13 yesterday, but it was a robust performance. 4 hours and 23 minutes for Wake to get past Miami. 3-2. Can we get Brandon Arvidson a new hat, you think? I count 4 or 5 times. Braden Krenzel, very talented freshman, is throwing for Tennessee. 54th pitch from Arvidson. So 3-2 the count on Matt Scannell. Deaks lead it by 4. Bottom 4 in this regional final. Cut and a miss. So much sharp downward movement to it, like you said.
It's just tough to lay off. I mean, you can go through the scouting report. You can understand what he's going to do to you. But out of the hand, it looks like it's going to be a lot higher than it ends up when it gets to home plate. That's the whole point of why Arvidson throws it there. It's why he gets swings like that. Second strikeout in the inning on that pitch.
It's what he used to strike out Merrick Houston last time as well. That was the third of Brandon Arvidson's 6 Ks now. Houston homered in the first. 2 home runs today after Merrick Houston had 1 in his previous 6 games. We got cuts on the breaking ball, sending Wake hitters down to a knee.
Yeah, that one's pretty special tonight for Arvidson.
And then if you're getting that as well, whew.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit tougher mentally to say I'm going to force the ball up in the zone if they're calling the low strike and maybe a little bit lower.
1-2. Houston tried to hold up and went around, according to Nicholas Mull. 7 strikeouts in 2 1/3 for Brandon Arvidson.
Now 3 in the inning, but this swing the difference maker. Javar Williams, his 2nd of the weekend, 4th of the season, a 2-run shot that gives Wake a 4-run lead.
News and notes around the country. Georgia was the first top 8 seed to get bounced, and then Vandy did as well. But check out right in the middle.
Yep.
Tip of the cap to Danny Hall.
Amen. Awesome man, awesome baseball man. Won a whole lot of baseball games. And Georgia Tech, man, it was plenty of offense today, but Ole Miss just had a little bit more. 11-9, Ole Miss stays alive. They will have to beat Murray State twice, and then would host a super. The 1 seed opposite them, Georgia, has already been beat. There's just a 2 and a 3 left. So if Ole Miss can get through and win that one, you have home baseball at Swayze again next weekend.
Matching up with Athens, where Duke is in the driver's seat. We did get word that Duke did put in a bid to host a super, so depending on how things shake out there, maybe Duke could have a chance to host. 8-9-1 for Tennessee against Logan Lunsford. Just one more thing on Danny Hall. I mean, 32 years at the helm. His first year was Jason Varitek, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Jay Payton, and a runner-up in Omaha.
Oh, yeah. That's when OU won the national championship. That is good timing as to when to say yes to that job. Those guys are pretty good.
Danny Hall's got a fearsome offense again. 8 of the 9 players in the lineup are true freshmen or true sophomores. We asked him earlier this season, hey, any thought about maybe sticking around? He said, yeah, of course it's crossed my mind, but not going to happen. 3-1 to Cannon Peebles. Pulled on a line center field. Javar Williams got a good jump. He's back, and he makes the catch for the first down in the 5th inning. Well, it's been mighty impressive from Logan Lunsford. Again, we showed you the cumulative numbers of the first 5 starts of the year, but to zoom in on it, 5 1/3, 1 hit, 13 Ks against St. John's. 5 innings, 13 Ks against Notre Dame, a bubble team. 7 shutout, 8 strikeouts against Miami. It's a ground ball from Manny Marin into center, and Marin's been aboard twice out of the 9th spot for the Vols against Lunsford.
But the last time that Lunsford has gone more than 4 innings was April 18th. The last time he's gone more than 5 innings was April 5th, almost 2 months ago.
That April 5th was against Florida State, 5 2/3 shutout with 9 Ks, and that was a week after he had a confounding outing against Virginia Tech where he got just 1 out. Coaching staff was kind of wondering what had happened in some ways with how it went for Lunsford in that one against the Hokies.
Then they threw him in a midweek game just to flush it and get it out of there.
Had to get some work, and then bumped him back a day against Florida State. Gavin Keelan the batter with Marin at first. Lunsford had a tough one against North Carolina, and then it's been hit and miss ever since. Up the ladder, and Keelan did not go, according to Wilson Rayner. Jimmy Keenan visits after this. Wake did part 1 with that win earlier today, thanks to 7 2/3 from Matt Dallas. Tom Walter got asked after the game if there was discussion about going back out for the 8th. He said, if I tried to pull Matt Dallas after 7, there would have been a fist fight in the dugout and I would have lost.
That's good, not to lose a fist fight part, but the fact that he wasn't coming out of the ballgame.
Tom Walter had so much praise for what Matt Dallas did and how he just wanted the ball, even deep into a pitch count well past the 100. Keelan bounces one at Austin Hawk. He goes to Merrick Houston for 1, and that's all. Keelan stays out at 2 as it was slow developing. Andrew Fischer, the confident first baseman, strides in. 2 outs in the 5th. He had an RBI single his last time in the 3rd against Lunsford. Strike 1, top of the zone with a breaking ball. Fischer flew to center his first time in the 1st inning. Up and away, a ball and a strike.
The defensive position on the right side, Austin Hawk is fully shifted into short right field, but Merrick Houston can't go quite as far as he wanted to because of the base run. He would probably be playing deeper than he is right now and maybe pushed a little bit more to the pull side. But you got to stay close enough. You get too far away, can't cover the stolen base, and ultimately Keelan's just going to stroll into second.
Two and 2. So we got a second baseman well into right field. We saw 4 outfielders at one point in a game this weekend.
Yeah, mid-pitch.
Start hoofing it out there. Cracked in the air by Fischer. Deep center field and gone! 430 feet of fury from Fischer. Ball 1 to Hunter Ensley. The big swings have come courtesy Gavin Keelan and Andrew Fischer in this one for Tennessee, and they're back within 2. 2-0 on Hunter Ensley.
We talked coming in that Fischer had not been a part of the home run party, and really Tennessee had only had 2 coming into this game. He's going to join it at some point. Got a breaking ball that he absolutely hammered to center.
Good changeup, 2-1. How about a 2-0 changeup right on right?
Yeah. Ensley thinking he's getting a 2-0 heater right there, all the way out in front on a pitch that was off the plate too.
Fastball's down, 3-1. So again, for as good as the stuff's been from Logan Lunsford, Tennessee through 4 2/3 has put up 4. Hot shot, Hawk. Happy Gilmore's it up the middle and throws out Hunter Ensley.
Just tackled that one. Make sure everything stays in front. 109 off the bat right there. This wasn't far off. Break a ball in a spot that Mr. Fischer put a pretty good swing on him. When it goes over the batter's eye, you know you got it. That made it a 2-run game. And if you do that, then you can go to squeeze play. That smart man's doing it right there. Well, maybe, I don't know what he was doing.
I think
he should be doing it.
Yeah, if he's not, he should be. Yeah, that's kind of the next level, is you pointing at the QR code. Bouncing ball fair from Cade Lewis, and Andrew Fischer to the bag. One away, bottom 5.
Good decision by Fischer right there too. Don't flip it if you don't have to. Could defend a little bit too now.
Yeah.
Hit one about 4 1/4 to dead center field, then lay out. Almost lay out to steal extra bases. If he does lay out right there, it's probably a leadoff single for Lewis.
And now Tom Walters out for a conversation with the home plate umpire Mark Wagers.
I would assume it's Arvidson's pace, potentially starting before the hitter engages, which is simply just looking towards the pitcher.
Jack Winney, first pitch swinging, fouled away. With just how quickly Arvidson's working and when they're making eye contact?
Yeah, he gets it and is ready to go. I mean, ultimately, the hitter has to be engaged. So looking at the pitcher within 8, when the pitch clock gets to 8 seconds. But the pitcher cannot make a move to home plate until the hitter is engaged. And if you time it up perfectly and start that move right when that head moves, that's what a lot of guys are trying to do now.
It was a very dramatic shot of the pitch clock. We love that. We've learned so many good camera operator and directing terms this week.
It was definitely, I mean, the lens was pushing right through it. It creates a little artistic look.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Okay.
I don't think it's lens movement there. I think it's a rack focus.
Oh, Captain TV guy trying to act. Did you go to Notre Dame?
I did.
Yeah, okay. I thought you did. I could tell right there.
The major was film, television, and theater.
What?
So I'm kind of cheating.
You may have gone to class.
The old 1 credit, second semester, senior year.
That is the way to attend college.
Oh, this is a rack focus, I'm told.
Now we're showing off.
Line drive to short past the dive of Gavin Keelan into left for Jack Winney. Tutorial time is over. 1-out single for Wake, up by 2 in the 5th. Dalton Wentz coming up. RBI double in the 3rd after a line out to right in the 2nd. Brandon Arvidson nearing 70 pitches. A toss over to Andrew Fischer, who had that home run, made the defensive play to begin this inning, and we have heard from our good buddy Todd Frazier. He said, "My boy just hit that home run," referring to Fischer. "Used to do lessons with him and my brother kids." There's a swinging strike. Arvidson tumbled, and hopefully all right. And the text started with, "Hey, big dog," which
That sounds about right.
every Frazier text does begin with, "Hey,
Sounds
big
about
dog."
right.
He's my guy, typical Jersey's finest.
Oh, he had to get a Jersey drop in there. Tom's River's finest. No, he wasn't Tom's. Was he Tom's River?
He was.
Yeah. All right, he was.
As Tim Kirkchin would call Todd Frazier, the biggest 12-year-old at the Little League World Series each year. He says he misses your face.
That's kind of him.
Yep. Fouled away. Todd, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it very much. Todd does one of the great impressions I've ever seen, a basketball referee. It is laugh out loud funny.
All right, next time. We got to dial that up first.
0-2 on Dalton Wentz in the meantime. Another throw over to Fischer with Winne back to the bag. Poked foul by Wentz. So 6-4 Wake Forest. If you're just tuning in, Wake Forest would have to win this game against Tennessee to force another one tomorrow. That would be winner take all game 7 in this Knoxville Regional. We started the day down to 48 teams around the country. It is hard to lose your first game like Wake Forest did and come back and win a regional. Only happens 7% of the time. Fouled back again by Wentz. What do we got happening around the country?
Well, let's do a little refresh here, Michael. Hold on. Just want to give you a play-by-play of how we do this, kind of behind the scenes.
Please.
I got Oklahoma State 2-0 over Duke in the 6th. That would force a game 7.
Swing and a miss. Arvidson's 8th strikeout and 2 down in the 5th.
We're going A stuff against A stuff right now, and there was a reason why the Tennessee plan was to go to Arvidson. He kind of kept moving up the depth chart, which doesn't really exist, but the mental depth chart for this Tennessee staff as the season went on. At 5 1/3 against Texas reinforces that again today. I know he's given a few up, but the stuff has been really good.
And now he faces Luke Costello.
Mississippi State 2-0 over Florida State in the 6th. That would force a game 7.
Good curveball. So the way things are looking, we've got possible game 7s on deck. If scores hold, long way to go. On the ground to short. Keelan to Curley. Brandon Arvidson's been good. We got a 2-run ball game through 5. Vols coming up down by 2 against the Deaks. Logan Lunsford went to finish the game yesterday on 8 pitches, so we knew it wasn't going to be a full-length start for him today. He's done after 5 innings, 2 earned.
I think both starts that Wake Forest has got today, started with Matt Dallas and now Logan Lunsford, you've got more than you could have asked for coming in. The thought with Lunsford is maybe gives you 3 or 4, 50 to 60 pitches. He went 5 complete. He leaves with the lead. And we talked to Tom Walter before game 1 of the day, and he laid out the hypothetical to us, which I don't want to go all the way through, but ultimately it was, this is how we can do this. So far, at least, it has followed that plan.
And if that's the end of Logan Lunsford's career, whether they win tonight or not, hats off to him, because he finished a game yesterday and started a game today and gave his team a fighting chance.
I'd say that's pretty darn good.
2 years at Missouri and 1 year with Wake Forest. And really good stuff for Logan Lunsford. All right, so he gives way now to Reese Bowie. Young lefty comes on after he worked Friday as well. 1 2/3 shutout ball, 28 pitches you see here against Cincinnati.
Yeah, the big thing that jumps out is the walks. It's 16 walks in 14 innings, over 1 per. It is extremely fastball heavy. Low 90s, sometimes into the mid 90s, but about 80% fastballs this year.
And he comes into this game in a good pocket of Tennessee's lineup as well. You'll hear managers in the big leagues talk about pockets or lanes in lineups. Lefty here in Dalton Bargo, righty in Dean Curley, lefty in Reese Chapman. Bargo's lined out a couple of times, in the second to right and in the fourth to second. Up high, 2-1, apparently. Something to watch with Reese Bowie. This is his first time this season working twice in the same weekend. Cut and a miss. 2-2 from the freshman from New Jersey.
If you're going to get through a loser's bracket, you got to have guys do stuff that they're either not used to doing or they haven't done the whole year. And that's what Wake is going to need if they have a chance to win this game and then ultimately have a chance tomorrow in a Game 7. Bowie throwing for the second time on a weekend for the first time this year. Lunsford going back-to-back days and pitching into the 5th.
This is what it looks like. It gets messy when you come out of the loser's bracket. These are the guys who've gone 20-plus pitches. Blake Morningstar is their first team All-ACC ace. He went Friday. Luke Schmolke, Reese Bowie, they pitched in that one as well. Chris Lavonis and Duncan Marston, they're down today to very talented freshmen. Gunther and LeFew back-end bullpen pieces. Dallas we talked about, and Lunsford twice. Swing and a miss. 96 from Bowie.
Average on a fastball this year has been about 93 for Bowie. Understandable when you come into a game like this. Adrenaline may bump that number up a little. Good carry on that fastball. You can see the bat travel right underneath it. Expecting that thing to move down the zone a little bit more. It didn't at 96.
Reese Bowie is locked in. On this stage, in this moment, he gets the right-hand hitting Dean Curley. Ball 1 to start. Outside to Curley, who singled his last time. After a home run yesterday and a 2-hit day for Curley. 2-run single in the first with the bases loaded to start the scoring against Cincinnati. Then a solo to center in the third. And apparently Dean Curley wanted a little more juice in Tony Vitello's home run call.
He goes back and hears it and then calls him on it. Hey man, come on. Need a little more than that. Dean Strong, that might be a home run. And then it was.
All right. I didn't intend to jump Tony. I certainly hope it didn't offend. 2-1 to the backstop, 3-1. There's been a lot of energy in these 10 pitches from Reese Bowie. This was the pitch prior, and hey now.
Yeah. That was the second pitch when he came into the game. We're fitting the often used stereotype of a left-handed reliever right now that sometimes act a little bit different than most other humans.
5-pitch walk. 1-out base runner for Tennessee. It will bring the tying run to the plate in the 6th inning. Brings back shades of a muttering Reese Bowie here. The tweaking deacon Cole Rowland, who was entertainment unto himself in Omaha.
Just continuous conversations with himself, sometimes mid-pitch, which is not easy to do. We got a little bit of that going on right now, too.
I had in my notes on Cole Rowland at one point before I saw him with my own eyes. Sounds like quite the character. That proved to be the case. Pickoff to check out.
You were right.
He was a really good reliever as well. Flipping his glove, spinning it, catching it. So fired up as a premium back-end bullpen arm. Bouncing ball that is fair in front of home plate, and Jimmy Keenan will go to first for out number 2. Reese Chapman bounces out. All right, so the crowd gets into it for the very talented, powerful, and mature true freshman DH, Levi Clark.
And we're going power on power right here.
He struck out in the 3rd and flew out to center in the 4th. He's got Dean Curley at 2nd, and he can be patient. Takes there, and it's ball 1, and we saw a lot of this from Levi Clark yesterday. Content to work counts against Cincinnati. 11, 4, 7, 6, 4 pitches seen in his plate appearances. Two and 0. Only the 2nd AB for Tennessee in this one with a runner in scoring position. Two and 1. Dean Curley walked against Reese Bowie, the freshman reliever for Wake Forest, who's 2-1. He's outside 3-1 on Levi Clark. The deepest of exhales from Reese Bowie. Clark launches to right. Into the corner. Scannell goes back at the wall. Tie game!
That is the first home run the freshman has given up all year and in his college career right there. And for Levi Clark, if he gets to a fastball and it gets elevated, he's got as much power as anybody in the building.
And Levi Clark just muscled it out to right. 6-6, we start anew in the top of the 6th. He's already some kind of player, and he's only a freshman. Three and 0 on Cannon Peebles. And this is the question about Wake Forest. Can you get enough strikes? There's a 1-out walk. And then Levi Clark was in a hitter's count. Now 3 and 0 on Peebles. Yanked. All arms on deck. And can Tom Walter and Corey Mascara stick with Reese Bowie? They'll say there was a strike earlier, so 3 and 1 on Peebles. Now ball 4. Back to the home run from Levi Clark.
95 on the outside part of the plate. Not an easy one to get to, but If Clark is going to hit this pitch out, it's going to be right there down the right field line. Just enough carry to carry into that bullpen. 10th of the year for Levi Clark. So if the guys in this Tennessee lineup right now, 8 of the 9 have double-digit home runs this year with that swing by Levi Clark. For Bowie, the issues this year generally start with the walk. The other run that scored there reached via the walk. Also look at the misses. They're all over. I mean, when it's right, the stuff is very good, but the misses, I mean, we got one glove side, we got one high arm side.
And now Corey Mosquera, before leaving his mound visit, said something to Mark Wagers, and they're looking for maybe a new rosin bag, too wet. Apparently so.
We got to check it here? Oh, yeah.
Well, you mentioned the misses from Reese Bowie, and you saw his reaction after the home run as well. He said a four-letter,
Man, what a bad pitch. It's 95 out away. That Levi Clark's one of the premier freshman power hitters in the country. He just got him. Now there is activity in that Wake Forest bullpen.
Josh Gunther, one of their big backhand arms, sophomore right-hander from Alabama. Manny Marin in the 9th spot with Cannon Peebles aboard. And ball 1 from Bowie. This crowd is fully charged with Marin in the box. Reached on a Lunsford error on that trickler through the rain in the 3rd, and then singled to center in the 5th. There's a strike with 94. One and two. Hayden LeFew also jogged out to the bullpen for Wake Forest, and he's another one of the very good relievers. But he worked for a while yesterday to get past Miami, Ohio. Swing and a miss. 95 up the ladder from Reese Bowie. But the damage is done, and the freshman Levi Clark's got double figures as well.
That's pretty good power right there. That ball looked like it was going straight up. It didn't go straight up. It went straight up and right out of here. And that swing, good for a 2-run home run in a tie ball game.
First meeting between Wake Forest and Tennessee since the 2001 Knoxville Regional. It's the only other meeting between these programs that the last 4 years have been powers in college baseball.
Berkey playing that one.
Had to have, right?
Yeah.
Wake won the first game, and then Tennessee won the second. We got Austin Hawk leading off here. Jimmy Keenan, Javar Williams will follow. Brandon Arvidson at 76 pitches. Hawk punched out on a slider against Arvidson last time. Also punched out looking on the breaking ball in the second. 3-1 here. These teams have been so good the last few years. Wake Forest to Omaha 2 years ago, #1 in the country, 54 wins before the loss to LSU. Bouncer left side, foul, and a full count on Hawk. And for Tennessee, of course, 3 trips to Omaha in the last 4 years. One of just 2 programs that can say that, with Virginia the other. Ball's been the #1 overall seed 2 of the last 4 years. And no team in college baseball has won more games or had a higher winning percentage in these last 5 seasons than Tennessee. '80th pitch from Arvidson. Is strike 3 called. 9 more strikeouts tonight from Brandon Arvidson.
It's so tough. You're trying to force that slider up mentally as a hitter, and this one, Austin Hott thought was just a little bit too up. Caught the upper part of the zone for Arvidson. Those 9 strikeouts tie a career high.
Brandon Arvidson has 12 outs, 9 of them via the punch out. Wanted that one to Jimmy Keenan, who walked and scored back in the 4th. Jimmy Keenan, one of the big transfers brought in by Tom Walter and his staff in the offseason from St. John's. Wake's done really well in the portal the last few years. Seaver King was a top 10 pick, and of course, fans of both these programs know the path of Chase Burns.
Seaver King from D2 Wingate.
He went 10th. Burns went 2nd. And Nick Kurtz is already in the big leagues after he went 4th overall, though he's currently on the injured list. They went out and watched Nick Kurtz play in the big leagues in Sacramento in April. And they were playing against Stanford.
Not a bad year for the Deaks last year. You get 3 of the top 10 in the draft, I'd say you're bringing in some dudes.
Fought off by Keenan. So 85 pitches for Arvidson. He went 85 in Hoover against Texas. These are the 2 longest outings of his season and his time with Tennessee. Keenan lays off, full count. He's had some good looks against Arvidson. Six in the 6th. Tennessee 1 win away. Wake Forest needs 2. 3-2. Keenan strikes out, and it's 10 Ks for Brandon Arvidson.
Both in this inning have been looking, and both have been on this pitch. It's a slider that's elevated a little bit more, maybe to where Arvidson wants to throw, but both times I think guys are looking for that pitch a little bit further down in the zone, give up on it. Back-to-back strikeouts looking here to start the 6th.
Now Javar Williams with a sword to start out. Walked in the 3rd, 2-run shot in the 4th for the sophomore center fielder. One of 3 different center fielders we've seen a lot of this year. Ethan Conrad, Cam Nelson, and now Javar Williams, who's going to get things slowed down by Bill Salento. Javar Williams with 2 home runs in this regional, and they both looked similar.
Both of them the pull side. For Williams, that's where most of the power is going to be, and then this one was today. Left on left against Arvidson. Just enough to ride it out into right center field. That, at that point at least, made it a 6-2 Wake Forest lead.
And what Andrew Fischer is to batters taking timeouts in the batter's box, Bill Salento is to third base coaches.
If he thinks the pace is moving a little bit too quick, we're just going to slow it down a little bit.
Just test out the brake pads. 0-1. Dropped in for a strike. 0-2 from Brandon Arvidson. He strikes out the side. That was the game-tying 2-run home run from Levi Clark in the top of the 6th inning in Knoxville, where they loved it at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. And now we go to the 7. Top 2 seeds in this Knoxville Regional, and the Vols have pulled even. Reese Bowie still out there against the top of Tennessee's lineup, beginning with Gavin Keelan and then another lefty in Andrew Fischer. Again, this is the freshman Reese Bowie's first time this year working twice on the same weekend. 1-1 on Keelan, who's had a great weekend himself. This game was 6-2 Wake Forest, headed to the 5th. Tennessee's got one win this season when they trailed by at least 4. That was SEC tournament against Texas, overcame a 4-run deficit in Hoover to win in extras. And Wake Forest, on the flip side of that, does have a couple losses this year when they led by at least 4, both of those in March in a 6-day span. Led by 5 against Liberty and lost, led by 6 and lost to Clemson. 2-2. Inside, and a full count on Gavin Keelan. Leadoff walk. NCAA regional coverage at all 16 sites continues today on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. More coverage tomorrow as well. And for more info, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. All right, so the leadoff man aboard, and here is Andrew Fischer. RBI single in the 3rd, and then 2-run shot that traveled 430 feet in the 5th. Strike 1 to the glove side.
See what Wake decides to do after this hitter. You get Ensley from the right side, Barger from the left side, Curley from the right side, Chapman from the left side to follow. They love the stuff of Bowie. It's the control issues that potentially cause you some concern. Then he does that. Dots 94-95 on the outside black at the knees to get ahead 0-2. When it's right, it's not easy to handle.
Swing and a miss. Pins 2 on the outside corner, like you said, and then blows 1 by Andrew Fischer.
It's not a comfortable bat for righties or lefties. I mean, really, the only ball that's been hit hard at all was the home run by Clark. There's 3 walks in there, now 2 strikeouts, and a swing and bunt by Reese Chapman out in front of home plate.
And so it's still Bowie, 34 pitches in against Hunter Ensley, who's grounded out 3 times. Change up to start, Ensley. After 3 good fastballs, I know to a lefty, he starts with the change. Keelan aboard, very good base runner. Six in the 7th. Another check on Keelan. Two and 0. Another punch of the head. The concussion spotters are working.
So far, he's landed 4 left hands to his own cranium at this point.
Outside, 3-0. Change-up, fastball, change-up. They've all missed to Ensley. Four-pitch walk. 4th one that Bowie's issued.
Now what do? You got Bargo coming up from the left side, and you know you would prefer the left-on-left matchup. but it's just feast or famine right now with Bowie. When it's right, they're not getting very good swings except for one that Levi Clark had. When it's off, it's walks, and it usually doesn't take long for that to happen. That's now the 4th walk since Bowie has come into this game.
And now Dalton Bargo gets the left on left, with Bowie still in there. Swing and a miss. Executing the fastball better against lefties.
Yeah, I mean, it's two different. I mean, that one's got a little bit of arm side sink to it right there. It came right underneath the barrel of Hensley, and then he's run some 4-seamers away too. Josh Elander saying, I can play the timeout game too. We can slow this down. It's just his 2nd inning out there already. He already has 6 swings and misses, all up on the fastball.
Josh Elander, by the way, had a great moment in the game yesterday when Cincinnati tried the hidden ball trick.
Yeah, he saw it and immediately told a base runner not to move off of third base. That's grounds for a raise.
Oh, 1. Bargo lays off. So it's 40 pitches from Reese Bowie. The season high in pitches is 47. That was in late March against Virginia Tech. Popped up. Right side of the diamond, infield fly rule in effect, and Merrick Houston there for out number 2. So Bowie gets a 2nd out. Again, no activity in the pen. If you're just joining us, Wake Forest is playing a 3rd straight elimination game after losing its opener on Friday, and so it's all arms on deck. And they've had to go deep into the bullpen these last few days. Dean Curley mashes against lefties. And so here comes Tom Walter out of the dugout. And he is not happy about something. Josh Gunther did get up here again in the last few moments and is ready to come in. And Tom Walter signals to the bullpen. Maxed out with Reese Bowie for a 2nd time this weekend. And here comes Josh Gunther. 2 outs, top 7, 2 aboard for Tennessee in a tie game in Knoxville. Tennessee is seeking a 5th straight Super Regional appearance. Wake Forest trying to win this one, come back, force a winner, take all game 7 tomorrow.
So, of course, we're tied at 6 here in the 7th inning, just the way that it should be. Ball hitters will see a different arm right here. I know that Reese Bowie walked 4 guys in an inning and 2/3, and he gave up a 2-run home run. He also got you 5 outs, which for Wake is the biggest thing he needed right here, is to bridge it to the end. So now they go to Gunther. Right-hander who can run it up there out of that frame. Just 21 hits given up in 27 2/3 and a ton of strikeouts. Already 2 innings. That was yesterday. 54 pitches, so quick and short turnaround for Gunther right here.
Came on in the 5th. 2 innings, 2 runs, walked 3, struck out 4. And Tom Walter's been making the steps himself.
Steps in down to the bullpen. He's been down there at least twice today.
Well, he knew it was going to be all arms on deck to get 18 innings worth of coverage at least here today. And it's back to Gunther. Right on right against Dean Curley. Has singled and walked. We told you he mashes lefties. Not the same success right on right for Curley, though still effective.
He's going to face a few different breaking balls here too. That was the curveball. You'll see a cutter and a slider. Fastball from Gunther that can get into the mid-90s.
2 aboard the 1-0. Is down 2-0. Josh Gunther has pitched twice in a weekend, 4 times this season before today, and this, though, is the 2nd time he's gone back-to-back days. Did it in March at Clemson. 2-0 to Curley. Pulled down the line way out in front. Keelan and Ensley aboard for the Vols. 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Curley's been a super unselfish player, in the words of Tony Vitello, to us this season. Trying to come through again with 2 outs for Tennessee. Full count. Nervous times in the Wake Forest dugout. Gunther against Curley. Runners will be in motion. 2 outs in the 7th and a 3-2. Fouled back.
Back-to-back cutters right there. It was a backup cutter that got him to 3-2. That one was off the plate. Curley chased what probably would have been ball 4 right there.
Josh Gunther trying to put out a fire against Dean Curley. 7th pitch, fouled away. Dean Curley was the starting shortstop as a true freshman for Tennessee. He's taken over at second base, draft eligible. Time winding down, presumably with the Vols. He's had a good weekend with the bat. Three-two again. Ball 4 and they're loaded.
Wake Forest had not walked anybody in this game until last inning. Bowie came in, walked 2, 1 came around to score on the Levi Clark home run. All 3 base runners in this inning have reached via the walk.
And here is Reese Chapman with the bases loaded, with a couple grand slams to his name already. First pitch, in for a strike on the inside part of the plate with a fastball. It's not extreme splits in either direction for Reese Chapman. A little bit better, as you would expect, against righties than lefties. 0-1. Nothing in 2. Wake's bugaboo has flared up these last 2 innings with those 5 walks you said. Loaded up against Gunther. 0-2. Just off the inside part of the plate.
You could see where Jimmy Keenan was trying to go too. The catcher wanted that fastball up and out of the zone to see if he could get some chase right there. Gunther held onto it just a tick too long.
Tom Walter was trying to will that into the strike zone. Gunther's 1-2. Stopped by Keenan.
That's having some confidence in your catcher right there. Just to have the ability to bounce it, know that he's got a really good chance to keep it in front. Not just keep it in front, but keep it in a spot that the base runners can't move.
Back to the fastball.
I like the elevated fastball, and if I was going to do it, I'd go more in than out.
2-2. Swing and a miss. A strikeout for Gunther to get out of Dodge. He leaves the bases loaded, and we hit the stretch in Knoxville. Still tied at 6. Game summary, still 6-6 because of that guy right there, Josh Gunther, whose pitching coach Corey Mascara is fired up in the Wake Forest dugout after Gunther left the bases loaded in a day where Wake Forest is trying to get through 18 innings after already winning a couple elimination games.
Look at those line scores identical to this point. I mean, this has been kind of what we thought we would get, and Lunsford got everything started on the mound. Since Arvidson has come in, his stuff has been outstanding.
He has punched out 11 so far. Dylan Loy was the starter, went an inning and a third. And it's been 4 2/3, and now 5 innings of work from Arvidson. Dalton Bargo puts it away on Matt Scannell, the Wake leadoff man, and there's 1 down to begin the bottom of the 7th. So Brandon Arvidson began his career at Texas A&M, didn't pitch there. Last year at junior college, he had an outing with 12 strikeouts, working for Sanjak in early May against Coastal Bend. Also had an outing with 11 strikeouts, like he has done here. 5 innings, 11 Ks last year in February against Seminole State.
Sanjak's turned a few dudes out. Andy Pennant, Roger Clemens, late great Wayne Graham, a longtime head coach there before he went to Rice.
Merrick Houston, the batter, takes a strike, 1-1. And so all that to say, this is about the best Brandon Arvidson's ever pitched.
And he keeps getting better this year. That's why he's still out there.
Nasty breaking ball out of Houston.
That's also why he's still out there, because that one has been special tonight.
Houston is the Wake Forest star who homered in the first. He lays off that one, 2-2. I mean, you can see just by batter reactions how tempting these breaking balls are. Merrick has since struck out twice, both times against Arvidson. Breaking ball in the 3rd, fastball in the 4th. 2-2 here in the 7th. Houston gets a piece of that. Two on the way. Inside, full count on Merrick Houston. Well, Tennessee's top of the 7th began with a leadoff walk worked by Gavin Keelan. It's stud shortstop, and now Merrick Houston with 1 out in the bottom half. Gets on via the free pass. "99 pitches for Arvidson." There is activity in the bullpen for the Vols. Braden Krenzel, the freshman, was up earlier, and that is Nate Sneed, who is throwing now.
For Arvidsson, 3rd walk since he has come into the ball game. Each of the previous 2 came around to score.
They just put Houston on, and this is Cade Lewis. RBI ground out in the 3rd for the All-ACC 3rd baseman. This has been one heck of a ball game. Another pick, and this one gets away. Houston will not test it.
Tight confines here down the lines, and really behind home plate. There's not a lot of foul ground here. We've seen overthrows get into the camera well, hit the net. Ultimately, you can trot to second base, but if it stays in play, the runner has a decision to make. Houston with a few steps to second thinks otherwise, and probably the right decision there.
Strike at the top of the zone. That's up high, 2-1 on Cade Lewis. Two and 2. Cade Lewis has been awesome this year for Wake Forest, especially in the first half of the season. Came here top 5 in the ACC in OPS. Transfer from Butler. This weekend 3 for 17. Boy, this is a big spot for the Minnesota native right here. Arvidson punches out a dozen, and there's 2 down.
The slider's been so good tonight, even the misses are working out. Where he hasn't missed very often is the middle of the zone. It's either at the top of the zone, which he's not trying to throw it there, but it worked out, or at the bottom of the zone. So the ones that guys can do a lot of damage with right in the middle, Arvidson has not missed there. Again, unintentional to throw it at that spot, but a place that left-handed hitters just don't see very often.
And here comes Tony Vitello. 104 pitches on a gas tank emptying night from Brandon Arvidson over 5 1/3.
That was pretty cool. He spun around the bench right away and said, "Get out there, boys, and get ready." As Arvidson turned in quite an effort tonight.
Pitching for the 2nd day in a row. And over the last 2 weeks, this is the best Brandon Arvidson has pitched this season. Gives up the 5, but boy, he was good. A dozen strikeouts from Brandon Arvidson. He hands it off to Nate Snead and departs. Tonight's Capital One rewarding performance, a dozen strikeouts in relief for Brandon Arvidson.
Yeah, he was as good as he's been all year. 5 1/3 against Texas in the SEC tournament, struck out 9, and that game had 18 swings and misses. Tonight had 5, but the strikeout total was higher. 12 swings and misses. 12 strikeouts today for Arvidson. This was the plan. Started with Lloyd, go as long as you possibly can with Arvidson. Career high in strikeouts, career high in pitches, and now he gives way to Nate Snead,
who is a fireballer who comes on to face Jack Winay. Nate Snead can fill a lot of roles on this pitching staff. Junior from Wisconsin has a 3.94 in nearly 50 innings this season. He's been up to 101. Jack Winay on a line over the jumping Gavin Keelan in the left. Turns around 100, and there's 2 aboard, and the go-ahead runs in scoring position for the Deaks.
.93-mile-an-hour cutter, the first pitch of the at-bat to Winay, and this is 100 in on your hands. He got the barrel to it, just enough of it to dump it out to left field. Now it's power on power. Dalton Wentz, the freshman, has 3 home runs this weekend.
Takes ball 1 from Snead. Dalton Wentz has been one of the breakout stars as far as freshmen go around the country this weekend. Highly regarded recruit from Madison Heights, Virginia. Home run hack. Cut from Snead there. We welcome those of you now watching on Squeeze Play. 6-6, this game has been awesome. Bottom of the 7th, Wake has 2 aboard as the home team. That's a strike, 1-2. Brandon Arvidson punched out 12 in relief. And now the fireballer, Nate Snead. And Snead steps off. First meeting between these powers this weekend. Top 2 seeds in this regional. They've been super teams in recent years. Snead's 1-2. Swing and a miss! 100 to leave 2.
We got a good one tonight. Mike Monaco, Nate Snead out of the bullpen. How about a couple at 100? That one enough to get the freshman swinging. 7 in the books, all tied up at 6.
8th inning starts. Tennessee serving as the road team here, and we're tied at 6. And this is Levi Clark who did this to tie it his last time.
The only good swing that they got off of Reese Bowie, but that's the only one they needed. A walk earlier in the inning came around to score that 2-run shot, knotted it up at 6.
With Wake deep into the pitching reserves here today. Josh Gunther got the final out in the 7th and begins the 8th. Fouled away on the first one. Plan was coming in for Wake Forest to use the likes of Gunther and maybe Hayden LaFew, another very good reliever here today. If they need to, Zach, Slim, Johnston, and Joe Areola are available as well. There's 3 guys Tom Walter wants to stay away from, though. Nothing in 2. Blake Morningstar, Duncan Marston, and Chris Lavonis. Sophomore ace, and then 2 talented freshmen who both threw yesterday, and they're probably all realistically down today. Those 3 would be available tomorrow if we get there. Fouled away by Clark. And we got all kinds of interesting scores going on around the country with teams that need to win tonight to do what Wake's trying to do, get to tomorrow. There's a lot of this going on. Up and away to Clark. Kentucky's up on West Virginia. Oklahoma State was up on Duke, who has responded and now leads late in that one. Check swing, no swing. 2-2.
Kentucky now up 10-7 on West Virginia in the 6th. Good call there. Coastal wins 1-0 over East Carolina. So Coastal the first team to advance to Supers.
Rope foul. And for Coastal Carolina, their first trip to a Super since 2016 when they won the national championship. I bet Conway was rowdy. The shot that clears. 7th pitch. Clark strikes out. Josh Gunther's fired up.
Yeah, it looked like a cutter right there. There's just enough to get off the plate and get the swing and miss. 86 miles an hour. Doesn't need a whole lot of movement when you start it right there. Perfect spot right there to get Levi Clark for the first out in the 8th. Coastal got a solo run in the bottom of the 8th inning to win 1-0.
4th Super in program history, 21 wins in a row. 1 out, top 8, 6-6 here at Cannon Peebles. That cutter's pretty sick.
Yeah, and he likes it too. It's not a ton of movement, but it's just enough, and he's still throwing at 85, 86 miles an hour.
Tried it again. No swing, according to Wilson Rayner. Tom Walter said to us the other day about Josh Gunther, he's throwing it really well right now. They're going to him on back-to-back days. Saw Peebles walked in the 6th, grounded out and lined out to center as well. 4 doubles for him this weekend. And he has also brought back the Drew Gilbert celebration at second base. Where you're like down on a knee and kind of reaching out, grabbing something, almost like you're chugging something.
I'll let you describe that one.
It is a crowd pleaser, certainly in the first base dugout. Back foot again, no swing again, 2-2. Yeah, big enough news around these parts that Mike Wilson was writing about it in the local paper.
It worked all right for Gilbert.
Base is empty in the 8th. 2-2. Down and a full count. This becomes the hinge point for Wake Forest pitching, as it has been all season long. Can they throw enough strikes? And can they avoid the free passes? Played with fire in the 7th inning, and now full count here. They've walked 5 in the previous 2 innings. In on the hands, and Cade Lewis can't get there in time, and look out. He went sliding right in the inlet between the fencing.
That was well timed. He knew he had a little bit more room right there. You got to pick the entrance right there. Excuse me. Pop-up slide into the dugout, turn around and got out of there.
He's smiling about it. And another 3-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Keenan caps the K, 2 of them in this 8th inning and 3 in a row for Josh Gunther.
And that time was either the slider or the curveball. He throws them both, but you could see the velocity difference was a little bit different. Takes it off, down underneath the bat of Peebles. Now back-to-back strikeouts here in the 8th, 3 in a row total for Gunther.
A couple 7-pitch wars for Josh Gunther, but he's got 2 outs, bases empty for the 9-man, the freshman Manny Marin, who was singled in the 5th, struck out his last time, and also reached on an error in the 3rd. This game has been outstanding across the board. It is why we love this beautiful sport. Start forecasting for Wake Forest. You've got 6, 7, and 8. If you can get Gunther through here, if you can get a run, you probably go LeFew in the 9th inning and try to get 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, I would think so.
Especially where you're at in the Tennessee lineup. Lefties follow here at the top of the lineup with Gavin Keelan and Andrew Fischer. Heck, you might start thinking about it anyway with Keelan and Fischer looming.
And there you go.
Hayden LeFew. Two and 2.
If he holds form, probably goes back to the cutter right here. That has been the pitch since Gunther has come in. He's been most comfortable with.
Two. Popped up. Went to the cutter, and it's right to the middle of the diamond to Merrick Houston. 1, 2, 3 for Josh Gunther. What an effort from the Wake reliever, pitching for the 2nd day in a row in a high leverage spot.
For a Wake team that has to win to keep things going, they've done their part on the mound so far. All tied up as we head to the bottom of the 8th in Knoxville.
Josh Gunther was in pop a blood vessel territory coming off the mound, and now he's hugging it out with his pitching coach.
Corey Muscara's got to be proud of his boys today, man. You needed some heroic efforts out of this pitching staff to have a chance, and they've put him in a position to potentially go ahead with 1 swing. Luke Costello has 2 home runs already this weekend.
6, 7, and 8 against Nate Snead. And nothing in 2 from Snead. Skied left side toward foul ground, and this one's to the seats. Did we take a tumble? I think we took a tumble. We're all good though. Everybody's okay. 0-2. Comes inside and nearly hit Costello, who's been right in the middle of all of that tonight.
99 right there.
There's only so many times you can tell your head coach, yeah, it hit me.
He hit by 99. We'll know.
A strikeout for Snead. 1 down, bottom 8.
The combination of stuff for Snead is pretty gross. And it's a fastball up to 100. That time is the curveball at 84. Got 2 strikes in the at-bat and the last one right here. And that first reaction, and actually Costello was on it from a timing standpoint, but you got to dial up for 100 and then he drops that on you.
Starts out with that cutter for ball 1 to Austin Hawk. He's punched out 3 times today. Buckles, and it's 1-1. Nate Snead, in the words of Liam Doyle when we chatted with him, is your prototypical reliever. By all accounts, a fun personality. Fit for these moments. He handles the bunt. I got you. 2 down.
Florida State is pulled ahead at home. 2 in the 7th, now 3 in the 8th. 5-2 over Mississippi State. Florida State win there, and they would advance to Supers.
So Oklahoma State and Mississippi State had things looking interesting. Things changing. Jimmy Keene in with 2 outs, bases empty. Catcher in the 8th spot. A couple strikeouts, a walk, and a run scored, but he has worked counts today. Wake's got 7 hits in this game. They had 4 in the first 3 innings. They got a home run from Javar Williams in the 4th, and otherwise since then just a couple Jack Winay singles. That's it since the 4th. 2-1. Hit high in the air left field. Into the night sky. Bargo doesn't spot it. And this one comes down on the warning track. Bounces off the wall. Keenan motors to third and is standing at third with 2 outs. Into the twilight sky. Shades of Palo Alto a few years ago against Texas.
Wow. You don't see it off the bat this time of night because it's not dark enough yet for the lights to fully take effect. Then it's just impossible to see it. You could see Bargo's move right there. He doesn't know where it is. I mean, hands out, and immediately Keelan is on a dead sprint. This ball just about carried out of here.
I think the third base umpire called an automatic double here. I think the third base umpire signaled that it was an automatic double. Wilson Rayner's got third. And let's hear the announcement from Mark Wagers. So you can do this at this point of the game. The crew chief can initiate review at their discretion in the last 2 innings of regulation and extras.
Ball short hopped the bottom of the wall, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought so as well.
I don't know anything that would cause this to be a ground rule double.
Dalton Bargo couldn't locate it pretty much right away off the bat. So let's just watch first where it did indeed bounce.
I mean, this shouldn't take long.
To bounce on the track, it goes up into and out. That is really hard to tell.
Spin on it then when it came back too. I don't think somebody else would have had to touch it at that point
to come
because
out.
It hit the top. It didn't look like it at any point it went over the wall. I think it hit the top of the wall, gave it some more top spin when it came down, and then checked back like one of your wedges, Monaco.
Preferably the 60. All right, so let's look at it from a wide angle and see what Wilson Rayner at third base declares here. He does seem to signal that it's out of play. Automatic double. He points to second base. All right, so for those of you that just joined on Squeeze Play, we're tied. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning, 6-6. We've got 2 outs. Jimmy Keenan was the batter with nothing brewing for Wake Forest. He skied a ball to deep left field that, with the sun setting here in Knoxville, Dalton Bargo, the left fielder, did not spot. It landed on the warning track. By our eyes, turned into a triple for Jimmy Keenan. But, as you might have just seen, Wilson Rayner, the third base umpire, did say that it was an automatic double. And so you can go to crew chief review here at the umpire's discretion. So did this go into the seats or out of play at all? And again, call on the field did seem to be automatic double from Wilson Rayner. If that does stand in our court of law here in Knoxville, though Jimmy Keenan is standing at third base.
Yeah, he's not going to leave quite yet. I thought it hit the top of the wall on the one hop.
I thought so too.
As I don't know what is beyond the wall that wouldn't be visible.
Todd Helton's got a good look at this one. Comes in. Does it hit off the post of the tent? I mean, it's hard to tell how deep that tent post is.
That tent's too deep, I think.
Yeah.
If it did, too, you'd have had fans going crazy out there.
Because they all know the significance. You got a couple fans pointing there. This is what it looks like. I mean, could it have hit off of one of those gray stanchions? Good cup holder for you.
You dropping stanchions out of nowhere. I'm afraid to talk now with words like that. I'm not sure where I go.
Wasn't even my word of the day. All right, let's see what we got. Should be either second or third.
After further review, the ball stayed in play. Runner gets third base.
That's a really good job by the umpires, taking as many looks at it as possible because it is an important 90 feet.
What I like about it, too, the initial call's ground rule double. And that was initiated by the umpires in that situation. They wanted a challenge. They came together and said, we want to take a look and make sure that we get it right. Well, back to it. It will go now as a 2-out triple. Jimmy Keenan being the go-ahead run for Wake Forest, standing just 90 feet away.
On a ball lost in the night sky. And now Javar Williams. Corners are in. First pitch is up and away from Nate Snead. Again, if you're just joining us, Tennessee 1 win away from Supers. Wake Forest needs to win tonight to continue. Would have to come back and win tomorrow. Javar Williams popped the home run earlier. Swing and a miss as Snead pulled a string. We've had high leverage moments here the last few innings. Relievers have stepped up big. Snead's 1-1. Drops in for a strike, 1-2. Nate Snead's 1-2. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's already been one heroic relief outing in this game for Tennessee. 12 Ks from Brandon Arvidson. And now Nate Snead with the would-be go-ahead run at third, working in the 8th. His 2-2. Cut on and missed! Best game of this regional so far by far. Hits the 9th inning with energy and emotion dripping all over this place in Knoxville, Tennessee. 6-6 our score. Wake Forest has already won 2 elimination games just to get here. They got to beat Tennessee once and then would have to do it again tomorrow. And they go to the bullpen for the lefty, Hayden LeFew.
Big time stuff for LeFew. It's a fastball into the mid-90s, a big time swing and miss changeup, especially against right-handed hitters. Strikeouts off the charts, 56 and 33 in the 3rd innings. However, the one outing that he had yesterday was not great here. Inning in the 3rd, gave up 3 earned.
48 pitches. Got the final out in the 7th, had a great 8th inning, but then ran into trouble immediately thereafter. By the way, if you're looking for LSU Little Rock, that has started on ESPN News and will continue here on ESPN U when this game's over. Glad you're here. Top of the order for Tennessee, Gavin Keelan, Andrew Fischer, and Hunter Ensley. Keelan's had an awesome weekend. Projected first-round pick. 0-2 against LeFew. Tom Walter was talking yesterday about Hayden LeFew. He said, we haven't gotten his pitch count up as much as we did yesterday. So they feel like the stuff on fewer pitches will be better. That's high, 2-2. They were 50-50 on bringing him back for the 9th inning yesterday. Lunsford had to finish it. Swing and a miss. 93 with life and plenty of it for a punch out.
There's still plenty of juice in there right now. LeFew, a couple fastballs in that at bat, 93 and 94 miles an hour this time. And high glove on the front side, comes all the way glove side with a fastball. First out for LeFew out of the bullpen is a strikeout.
And now Andrew Fischer. Keelan and Fischer 3 for 8. Rest of the Vols 3 for 24. Fischer had a run-scoring single in the 3rd, and then a 2-run home run that was demolished at 4:30, the distance in the 5th. Landing the off-speed for a strike. Glove side dottage, 1-2. Some expletives to Andrew Fischer that can be summed up as such. Please get in the box. But Andrew Fischer told us the other day he loves this. It is for show when he takes his timeouts, and he wants to let the pitcher know, he told us, that he is in control.
He wants that reaction. That's exactly what he wants. He's pretty good at it too.
Told us it's all body language. When I'm in the box, there's enough presence to let them know. And now he lays off and he's wiggling the hips with an Soto shuffle in Knoxville, 2-2. It's been the best bat for the Vols. Strike 3 called. Hayden LeFew fired up, and he's fanned 2 in the 9th.
That's a big-time slider right there. For LeFew, it's a couple different off-speed pitches that both have had great outcomes. Tight slider on the outside part of the plate to freeze Fischer. 2 strikeouts to start this inning against the numbers 1 and 2 hitters in this Tennessee lineup.
And now a guy who has been here for 5 years, Hunter Ensley. Swings through the off speed. 0-1 on Ensley. Three groundouts and a walk. 0-2. That's 2 of the same pitch from LeFew.
That's a split change that is just lethal right there. Dialing up for 94 miles an hour, and the bottom just drops out of it.
That's his kick change. He threw it again, and he strikes out the side in the top of the 9th. A new pitch Hayden LeFew added gives Wake a chance to walk it off. Tennessee's trying to reach a 5th straight Super Regional. Wake is trying to live another day. How good has this been? Wake Forest is the home team, bottom 9. Matt Scannell against Nate Snead. Top of the lineup for Wake, thin on pitching, and boy, you know the Deaks, if they're going to win it, they want to do it right here. This one crosses up the catcher, Peebles. That could have been worse.
I think that's a cutter, and watch glove movement right here. Tanner Peoples expecting that to do something else, and when he got a guy out there that's throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs and 90-mile-an-hour cutters, there is just not enough time to react to it.
Well, Wake Forest is trying to win a third straight elimination game. This Deaks team is loaded with talent. It's been an uneven season. They got a chance with a run here in the bottom of the ninth to set up tomorrow. It should be winner take all. Now time called before the 2-0 from Snead. Matt Scandal's the batter. He had a beautiful bunt single in the third. Crushed a home run earlier in the first game for Wake today. 3-0 from Snead.
Oh, you're absolutely taking one here.
Called a strike. 3-1. Scandal, the Princeton transfer. He's had a great season to top the lineup. Took a huge cut on a 3-1, and now it's full. That was 97 up the ladder from Nate Snead. He came on in the 7th. (3-2). Scannell stays alive. If Scannell can get on, Merrick Houston is on deck. Wake's superstar shortstop and projected first-round pick. 3-2. Winning run aboard for Wake Forest.
He came back with that curveball 3-2. Fastball just got fouled back. Upper 90s, came back with a curveball. Good take right there. And now you got the guys that could do some damage coming up with the winning run standing on first base.
Starting with Merrick Houston. And he squares and pulls back, and that's out of the zone from Snead as well.
Snead has 10 wild pitches this year, and that's all out of the bullpen. He did have one start, but that is tops on this Tennessee team.
That's a strike as Houston pulls back. This just for show with Houston?
Maybe they're taking one right here, and if you are going to take it, you may want to just fake bunt to do it, but I'd be surprised if he's bunting. He shows again.
Wow.
Tried to.
With a guy who has homered twice today, who's been really your best bat this season, and you just gave up 2 strikes with Merrick Houston. I know you're trying to manufacture, but you got Cade Lewis on deck. He struggled this weekend. And then Jack Winney after that.
Yeah.
Wake Forest has not had a walk-off win in the NCAA tournament since 2017. Super Regionals Game 2.
I'm with you on the Houston decision. That one surprises me. He's got 1 sack bunt this year, but he's also, somebody's going to hand him $3 or $4 million here in a month and a half to go play professional baseball, and he's had a decent 3 days here. 3 home runs, 1 of them tonight.
I don't get it. In on the hands. Wake's got 2 walk-off wins this season. Mid-March against Miami. Jacob Burley, the veteran Brown transfer. And then early May against Gardner-Webb. Bases loaded, walk-in extras. Nate Snead trying to bear down. By the way, we have not yet had a game go to extras this weekend. Eugene is tied with 2 outs. Bottom of the 10th, Cal Poly is threatening. And so it just went to the 10th inning. On the ground up the middle from Houston, past the dive of Curley. Scannell thought about first to third, but there's 2 on. Nobody out for Wake Forest in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Tell you what, man, that's pretty impressive. I mean, you showed a bunt twice, work yourself into a 2-strike count, and then get what looked to be a cutter that was elevated right there. Leak back over the middle of the plate. Merrick Houston does shorten up with that 2-strike swing, shoots it up the middle, and now Wake has their first 2 on here tonight.
And longtime and veteran pitching coach Frank Anderson comes out for a visit with everybody on the mound here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. This game has been as good as it gets, and the fact that Wake Forest is even in this position is so impressive with what they've had to do today. I got a 10-3 win against Cincinnati earlier today thanks to 7 2/3 from Matt Dallas that began with 7 shutout, pitching in a ballpark that he called home last year. And now here, taking Tony Vitello's Vols to the brink in a game where the Vols could clinch and get to another super. The Vols here in home regionals in Knoxville under Tony Vitello are 14-0 in his time. They've never gone to Monday here in Knoxville. Cade Lewis squares and pulls back. It's called a strike. Do you like this one more?
He hasn't done it all year. He doesn't have 1 sack bunt the entire year. Lewis doesn't. So you're asking him to do something that I'm sure you're practicing some in BP, but even when he's doing that, he's not thinking that he's going to actually do it in the game.
He drops it down toward third. Sneed.
Oh, my.
Oh, boy, they're loaded. Nobody out, and the Deaks have the bases loaded.
Watch the movement at third base by Manny Merritt. At third, the minute he vacates, and he did right there, there's not enough time to get back there. And when Sneed spins with the speed of Lewis, that's just enough time for the left-hander to get all the way down there. That's one where your catcher has to be yelling 1-1-1. You have to get it out. Instead, now bases loaded, nobody out for Jack Winay,
who was the first guy to face Nate Sneed in the 7th and singled through the pull side. Junior hoping to continue his career. Ball 1 up high. Winay was first announced to a national audience with a hit against Paul Skeens in Omaha 2 years ago. 1-0. Down 2-0 from Sneed. Scannell, Houston, and Lewis aboard. Called the ball on a pitch that appeared to be toward the inside part of the plate, but it popped away from Peebles, and it's 3-0.
That one almost looked like he was crossed up. It was not a comfortable move by Peebles back behind home plate, but now bases loaded, nowhere to put him, nobody out in a 3-0 count.
Six, bottom 9, Wake trying to get to tomorrow. 3-0 pitch. Winay walks it off for Wake. We'll see you tomorrow night in Knoxville.
That's quite a day for the Deaks. I mean, you show up, you have no idea what you're going to get out of your pitching staff. And honestly, Matthew Dallas gave them a chance to get to this point. He worked into the 8th inning. They win the opener today. Lunsford's outstanding, works 5. And then it was honestly patience in the last inning. The leadoff walk ended up coming around to score. And that solo run in the 9th means we'll play one more here in Knoxville.
At some time tomorrow, we will see you for round 2 and a game 7 in the Knoxville Regional. Man.
Well, we came in thinking that we may get some good ones between these two. This was the first meeting in this regional. Maybe a little spicy in here tomorrow night, Mike Monaco.
Scannell paused for effect at home plate. 7-6, walk it off in the bottom of the 9th. What an effort from this Wake Forest team. I mean, this is a team that has coaching speculation swirling around them this weekend.
With their pitching coach, yes. And we talked about it. If Wake throws strikes and they defend, they have a chance to beat anybody because they're going to swing the bat. For the most part today, they threw strikes, they defended, and it was enough offense. You see how good they can be when it's a clean version of baseball. Today was really impressive.
Wow. Tennessee Wake Forest round 2 is coming tomorrow. What a game. For Kyle Peterson, our entire crew behind the scenes, led by producer Sean Jackson, director Billy Proctor, and the whole gang, Mike Monaco sending you to LSU Little Rock with Big Ben. Here's Dave Neal.